Hey viewers, welcome back to my channel. Today's story follows Noah Carter and Ava Mitchell, two college students whose paths crossed in the most ordinary way yet changed everything about their lives. Their story begins in early fall, when the semester had just started and the campus felt alive with new hopes, new friendships, and quiet feelings no one had words for yet. A bright morning unfolded as Noah walked across Westbridge University's wide courtyard, carrying design textbooks with his usual focused expression. He preferred silence, living between deadlines and determination. Meanwhile, Ava arrived with her warm presence, greeting Emily near the arts building. She didn't try to stand out, yet she always did. Her kindness settled gently into every space she entered. Inside Professor Hall's creative studies class, Noah sat near the window, unaware that Ava had chosen the seat beside him. She noticed him instantly, not because he spoke, but because he didn't. His quiet seriousness drew her attention, more than confidence ever could. She wanted to understand him without knowing why. When the group project teams were announced, Noah, Ava, and Sophie Bennett were placed together. Sophie was cheerful and full of ideas, while Noah seemed hesitant about teamwork. But Ava sensed something softer beneath his focused exterior, a gentleness he didn't show easily. Their first meeting on the campus lawn revealed more about them. Sophie talked excitedly, Ava listened with patience, and Noah quietly took notes, speaking only when necessary. Yet Noah found himself noticing Ava, the way she smiled, the way she made room for others, the calmness she carried like sunlight in quiet spaces. Later, as the afternoon faded, Emily called Ava from across the lawn. Noah watched her run toward her friend with effortless joy, a moment that stayed with him long after she left his sight. Something about her presence lingered in his thoughts more than he wanted to admit. In Noah's dorm that evening, Lucas teased him for being unusually distracted. Noah brushed it off, but he couldn't shake the memory of Ava's laughter, her soft focus, or the gentle way she approached every conversation. She had entered his thoughts without permission. Meanwhile, Ava sat with Emily, describing Noah as distant yet intriguing, someone she wanted to understand more. She didn't know it yet, but this was the beginning, not of love, but of noticing. And sometimes, noticing is the first step toward everything that follows. The following week settled quietly across Westbridge University as early fall softened the air. Noah reached the arts building earlier than usual, taking his regular seat near the window. He told himself it was routine, nothing more. Yet a small part of him waited for someone he refused to name. Ava entered moments later with Emily, holding a warm coffee. She smiled at something Emily whispered, but when her eyes found Noah, her expression shifted into a gentle calm. She sat beside him with an ease that felt natural, as if this small morning ritual had always belonged to them. Noah didn't speak, but inside, something softened. Their project group met outside near the fountain, where sunlight flickered across the water. Sophie brought her usual excitement, filling the space with cheerful commentary. Ava laid out the papers and explained their progress with quiet clarity. Noah listened closely, admiring how she made every idea feel balanced and thoughtful. Her presence grounded him in a way he barely understood. During a short break, Sophie left to grab snacks, leaving Noah and Ava alone under the shade of an oak tree. Students passed by with light chatter, but the silence between them felt warm and unforced. Ava watched the campus with a peaceful focus, while Noah found himself memorizing the small details about her that he would later pretend he never noticed. As the afternoon faded, the group wrapped up their tasks. Ava walked with Emily toward the dorms, and Emily teased her about Noah's subtle attention. Ava tried to ignore it, yet her smile lingered longer than she intended. Noah returned to his own dorm, where Lucas immediately noticed the faint shift in his usually calm expression. Lucas joked that Noah finally found something more interesting than textbooks. Noah didn't respond, but deep inside, he knew the comment wasn't far from the truth. Later that night, Ava sat near her window, recalling Noah's quiet glances and the steady patience he carried everywhere. Meanwhile, Noah sat at his desk, trying to focus on his notes, but his mind drifted back to her voice, her calm presence, and the way she made even silence feel meaningful. Neither of them admitted anything yet, but something quiet had begun to form between them, settling gently into the corners of their days. The next week arrived with cooler air drifting across Westbridge University. Leaves shifted into softer shades of gold, and students moved through campus wrapped in light jackets. Noah walked across the courtyard with his sketchbook, unaware that he had begun searching for a familiar face every morning. At the library entrance, Ava stood with Emily, returning a stack of books. When Noah spotted her, something inside him paused. He didn't approach her, but his steps slowed just enough to betray what he wouldn't admit. At the same moment, Ava looked up, and their eyes met briefly. It was gentle, warm, A small exchange that said far more than words ever could. Professor Hall later announced their mid-project evaluation, asking groups to present early concepts. Ava, Noah, and Sophie agreed to meet in the library's quiet corner to finalize their layout. Noah arrived early with his notes arranged neatly. Ava entered with her calm smile, and Sophie followed with snacks, filling the moment with cheerful energy. They spread out their sketches across the table. Ava outlined ideas with her usual steady confidence, while Noah added thoughtful suggestions, surprising Sophie with how clear and detailed his artistic insight was. Ava watched him closely, noticing the quiet passion beneath his seriousness. She admired the way he spoke softly, yet carried purpose in every word. A small shift happened when Sophie stepped away to take a phone call. Ava sipped her iced coffee and flipped through Noah's sketchbook, her expression softening at each drawing. Noah watched her silently, feeling exposed yet strangely comforted. It was rare for anyone to look at his work with such gentle curiosity. Sophie returned, but the air between Noah and Ava had changed. A subtle understanding settled in the space between them. They worked until sunset, finalizing their presentation before stepping out into the cool evening. Ava walked back toward the dorms with Emily, explaining how impressed she was with Noah's ideas. Emily teased her, saying the interest in her voice was impossible to hide. Ava denied it with a shy smile, but she knew her heart had reacted differently than she expected. Noah returned to his dorm where Lucas noticed the quiet shift in him instantly. Lucas joked about Noah being unusually dedicated to a project that wasn't even graded yet. Noah brushed off the comment, but deep inside he knew his thoughts lingered where he didn't want to point them. Later that night, Ava sat on her bed thinking about the study session and the way Noah's eyes softened whenever he explained something. Noah, sitting near his window, replayed the moment she examined his sketches. Neither of them called it anything yet, but both felt the slow formation of something meaningful. A quiet connection taking shape beneath the ordinary rhythm of their days. The sun dipped lower as the campus turned quieter, and the group finally wrapped up their long afternoon of planning. Everyone packed up, but Ava and Noah lingered near the courtyard steps, neither of them rushing to leave. A gentle breeze moved through the trees, scattering leaves around their feet as the sky shifted into soft shades of orange and pink. Noah held his sketchbook against his chest, unsure whether to walk away or stay. Ava sensed the hesitation and stood beside him, watching the sunset settle behind the campus buildings. The moment felt unplanned, yet perfectly timed, as if the day itself wanted them to pause together. Students passed in the distance, but this small corner of campus felt like its own quiet world. Ava finally spoke in a soft, thoughtful tone as she looked at the fading sky. She told him how the project had become more meaningful than she expected and how his dedication surprised her in the best way. Noah listened with steady attention, feeling something warm unfold inside him, something he wasn't ready to name yet. They walked slowly toward the main path, their steps unhurried, their silence peaceful rather than awkward. Noah glanced at Ava once, catching the gentle brightness in her eyes, and something inside him shifted. Ava noticed his quiet smile and returned it without hesitation, as if they were sharing a secret neither of them had fully discovered yet. As they reached the crossroads, the light breeze picked up again, scattering leaves between them. Ava tucked her hair behind her ear and told Noah she would see him tomorrow for the next project session. Her voice carried a softness that stayed with him long after she walked away. Noah stood there for a moment, watching her disappear into the evening crowd, feeling strangely grounded yet lifted at the same time. Something about today felt different, almost like the start of a quiet change he couldn't ignore anymore. The next morning arrived with a soft chill settling over the campus lawns. Students hurried between classes, wrapped in jackets and carrying warm drinks. Noah reached the studio early, his sketchbook tucked under his arm, hoping to organize the materials before the group arrived. The quiet room felt calm, filled only with faint echoes of footsteps in the hallway. Ava walked in a few minutes later, holding her notebook against her chest. Her hair was slightly messy from the morning wind, giving her an easy, natural charm. When she spotted Noah arranging the project boards, her expression brightened instantly. She stepped closer, the morning light falling across her face in a way that made her look softer than usual. They began reviewing their work together, flipping through designs, adjusting layouts, and sharing thoughts with a quiet rhythm that felt surprisingly natural. Noah found himself noticing small things: how gently Ava handled the pages, how she leaned in when concentrating, how calmly she explained each idea. None of it was dramatic, yet all of it stayed with him. As they worked, their classmates slowly filtered in. Sophie entered first, cracking a joke about early mornings. Emily followed with 2 coffees in hand, offering one to Ava with a playful nudge. The room slowly filled with casual chatter and soft laughter, adding warmth to the otherwise quiet space. Ava and Noah continued collaborating, their focus slipping into a smooth harmony. Ava pointed out a color choice she loved, and Noah adjusted the design without hesitation, creating something that made her smile. Her approval settled warmly in his chest, stirring feelings he hadn't expected to grow so quickly. When their professor arrived for a brief check-in, he paused at their table longer than usual. He studied the progress, nodded with genuine satisfaction, and praised the clarity of their ideas. Ava glanced at Noah with a spark of excitement, and he returned the silent acknowledgement with a small, grateful smile. After class, the group stepped into the sunny courtyard, discussing the next steps with renewed energy. Noah walked beside Ava, their pace perfectly matched. The breeze rustled the trees overhead, scattering tiny rays of light across the walkway as students crossed paths around them. Ava told him she was proud of how far the project had come and how much better it felt working together. Noah didn't say much, but the quiet gratitude in his eyes said enough. As they reached the library entrance, Ava paused, gave him one more soft smile, and headed inside. Noah stood there for a moment, watching her disappear between the rows of bookshelves. For the first time, he allowed himself to acknowledge that something was changing. Slowly, gently, but unmistakably. The week moved with a calm rhythm as the project finally took clearer shape. One afternoon, the group met inside the design lab, where soft lights glowed over scattered papers and color palettes. The room carried the familiar mix of coffee and markers, the scent of long college days. Ava arrived a little late, brushing her hair back as she stepped inside. Her gentle smile softened the entire room. Noah looked up from his sketchbook, feeling that quiet warmth rise in his chest again. She took a seat beside him, close enough that their arms almost touched as they worked. They reviewed final adjustments. Sophie checked the written sections, Emily arranged reference images, and Noah refined the last design elements. Ava leaned over his shoulder to offer suggestions, her voice calm and steady. Her presence eased the pressure of the coming deadline, grounding him more than she realized. As the hours passed, the lab slowly emptied until their team was the only one left. The warm desk lamp beside them cast a soft glow across Ava's notebook. Noah watched her focus with quiet admiration, noticing how carefully she handled every detail. It made him appreciate her even more, though he kept those thoughts to himself. When they finally wrapped up, Sophie stretched with relief and suggested dinner at the campus cafe. Emily agreed right away, but Ava hesitated, mentioning she still had work to finish later. Noah sensed it before she spoke, understanding her rhythm without needing any explanation. Sophie and Emily left first. Ava gathered her papers slowly, and Noah stayed behind, pretending to reorganize his desk but really waiting for her. The silence between them felt peaceful, carrying a softness that didn't need words. Ava finally thanked him for staying late and helping through the toughest parts of the project. Her voice held a sincerity that reached deeper than simple teamwork. Noah nodded, unsure how to respond without revealing too much, though the expression in his eyes said enough. They walked out of the building together and stepped into the cool evening air. The sky was a deep blue, glowing with campus lights that lined the pathways. Students crossed the quad in small groups, their laughter drifting through the open space. Ava and Noah walked slowly, letting the quiet guide each step. At the campus fountain, a soft breeze rippled the water. Ava paused to look at the shimmering reflections and mentioned how unexpectedly peaceful the day had felt. Noah agreed quietly, realizing that the calm came from being near her. She wished him a good night and headed toward her dorm, her silhouette fading under the streetlights. Noah watched her until she turned the corner, then stayed for a moment longer, feeling something inside him shift. Gentle, steady, and impossible to ignore. Scene starts on Monday morning as the campus wakes with fresh energy. Students rushed across the courtyard, holding warm drinks and adjusting backpacks. Ava walked with Emily, discussing assignments, her steps slowing when she noticed Noah sitting by the fountain, reviewing sketches with quiet focus. She didn't call out, but her eyes lingered with a gentle warmth she couldn't hide. Noah looked up and spotted her through the crowd. His expression softened instantly, a calm comfort settling in his chest. Ava waved before heading inside, and Noah felt a quiet lift in his morning that he couldn't explain. Scene shifts to Professor Hall's classroom where the group prepared for their next big presentation. Sophie organized materials with bright excitement. Lucas joked with Emily near the door, and Ava reviewed the project slides. Noah watched her calm focus for a moment, admiring how steady she always seemed. Scene transitions to the presentation. The room fell silent as the group stepped forward. Ava introduced their concept with her gentle confidence. Sophie added creative points with enthusiasm, and Noah explained the design work with clear detail. Their teamwork felt balanced and natural, shaped by days of quiet connection. Professor Hall praised their progress, leaving the group relieved and proud. Scene shifts to the hallway where they celebrated the positive feedback. Emily hugged Ava, Lucas congratulated Noah, and Sophie suggested a quick cafe outing. Ava agreed with a bright smile, and Noah nodded, drawn by the chance to stay near her a little longer. Scene moves to the warm campus cafe filled with soft lights and the smell of coffee. They settled around a corner table, laughter rising between small conversations. Ava sat beside Noah, their elbows nearly touching as they talked about the project. Even in the noisy cafe, a quiet understanding existed between them. When Sophie stepped out for a call and Emily grabbed napkins, Noah and Ava were briefly alone. Ava sipped her drink, her eyes drifting toward him with calm curiosity. Noah looked at his cup, trying to steady the warm feeling of being so close to her. Their silence felt comforting, a quiet moment that needed no words. Scene changes as they left the cafe. Emily and Sophie walked ahead, Lucas followed behind, but Noah and Ava naturally kept pace with each other. Their conversation stayed light, yet every shared glance held something deeper. Scene transitions to Noah's dorm where Lucas immediately teased him about walking with Ava. Again, Noah didn't argue. He simply sat at his desk, replaying the soft cafe moment in his mind. Scene moves to Ava's dorm where Emily pointed out the glow on her face. Ava tried to deny it, but her smile gave her away. Noah's presence had begun to stay with her long after each day ended. Scene ends with both lying in their rooms, unaware that these small moments were shaping something real between them. Quiet, steady, and growing with every passing day. Scene starts later that week as the weather turned colder. The morning air carried a crisp edge, and students wrapped themselves in light jackets as they moved across campus. Noah walked toward the arts building with his sketchbook tucked under his arm, noticing how the trees had shifted into warm shades of gold and orange. He didn't admit it out loud, but every morning now began with the same quiet hope that he might see Ava before class. Scene shifts to the library entrance where Ava stood with Emily, returning a stack of books. She laughed softly at something Emily whispered, her calm energy warming the cool morning. When Noah appeared at the far end of the walkway, Ava looked up by instinct. Their eyes met briefly, warm and effortless, as if both had expected the moment without saying so. Scene transitions to Professor Hall announcing the mid-project evaluation. Groups were told to refine their ideas and prepare updated concepts. Ava, Noah, and Sophie planned to meet later that afternoon in the library's quiet study corner, wanting to finalize everything before the review. Scene moves to the study table where the three settled with notes, sketches, and half-finished ideas spread across the surface. Ava explained her thoughts with steady confidence, Sophie added cheerful suggestions, and Noah contributed clear design details. Every time Ava looked at Noah's sketches, her expression softened, noticing how his quiet passion showed in every line. Noah saw her reactions but pretended not to. Small moment arrived when Sophie stepped away to take a call. Ava remained at the table, gently flipping through Noah's sketchbook. Noah watched her with a mix of nerves and curiosity. She studied each page with care, admiring the depth in his drawings. For Noah, being seen like that felt unfamiliar, almost vulnerable yet comforting in a way he didn't understand. Scene transitions as Sophie returned, but something between Ava and Noah had shifted. The air felt warmer, calmer, as if they had crossed an invisible line without speaking a word. Scene shifts to the parking lot after the study session. Students walked in different directions as the sun disappeared behind the buildings. Ava joined Emily, talking about how impressive Noah's designs were. Emily teased her, claiming her voice changed every time she talked about him. Ava blushed and denied it, yet a quiet smile betrayed her. Scene moves to Noah's dorm where Lucas found him reorganizing his notes with unusual focus. He joked that Noah was suddenly working harder than the project required. Noah ignored the teasing, though the faint warmth in his eyes revealed something had changed since the study session. Scene ends that night with Ava lying in bed replaying Noah's gentle expressions, and Noah sitting by his window thinking of Ava's soft curiosity. Neither dared to name their feelings yet, but both sensed that something quiet and meaningful was taking shape. Something neither of them wanted to stop. Scene changes to the following week as Ryan wakes up earlier than usual, carrying a strange mix of fear and determination in his chest. The past few days had pushed him into a space where silence felt heavier than words, and every moment without Emily felt like an unanswered question. He spent the week avoiding crowded hallways, stepping around memories, and trying to distract himself with long study hours in the library. But the truth followed him everywhere, refusing to fade. Scene shifts to the college courtyard where fall leaves scatter across the pavement. Ryan walks slowly, searching for something he isn't sure he will find. Every corner reminds him of Emily. Their first accidental meeting at the cafeteria line, the day she dropped her notebook, the time she stood under the oak tree smiling at something he said. Those moments replay in his head like old film clips, fragile but unforgettable. The emptiness she left behind feels impossibly loud. Scene transitions to the student center. Ryan sits near the windows, watching the world move around him while he stays frozen in his thoughts. He wonders whether Emily is avoiding him or just lost in her own battles. The uncertainty keeps growing, tugging at him each night when he returns to his quiet dorm room. He keeps checking his phone, hoping for one small message from her. But the screen stays blank. Scene moves to a chilly evening on the college lawn. A gentle wind brushes across Ryan's face as he realizes he can't spend another day waiting. Whatever happened between them, whatever shifted so suddenly, he needs to know the truth. He takes a long breath, gathers his strength, and heads toward the girls' dorm buildings. His steps are slow but determined, each one carrying the weight of the past weeks. Scene shifts to the dorm entrance. Instead of seeing Emily, Ryan meets her roommate leaving the building. The sight instantly steals his breath. The roommate's expression is calm but slightly confused to see him, standing there looking exhausted and hopeful. She pauses, adjusts the books in her arms, and hesitates before speaking. Her tone is soft but serious, carrying something Ryan isn't prepared for. Scene changes as the truth lands like a strike to the heart. The roommate quietly explains that Emily hasn't been avoiding him, nor has she been spending time with anyone else. She has been facing something personal, something she didn't want to burden him with yet. The words hit Ryan harder than he expected. He suddenly realizes she left not because she wanted distance from him, but because she was struggling alone, hiding her fear behind silence. Scene ends with Ryan standing in the cold evening air, the wind carrying away every doubt he had. For the first time in weeks, he feels clarity instead of confusion. And with that clarity comes a single unshakable decision. He will not let Emily fight anything alone again. Scene starts later that night as Ryan walks back toward his dorm, the weight of the roommate's words settling deeper into his chest. The sky above him is dark and quiet, with only a few scattered streetlights guiding his path. His mind keeps circling around the same thought. Emily wasn't avoiding him out of anger or disappointment. She was protecting him from something she believed she had to face alone. That realization feels heavier than anything he imagined. Scene shifts to Ryan's dorm room. He sits on the edge of his bed, staring at the soft glow of his desk lamp. Every memory of Emily feels sharper now, every moment more meaningful. Her smile, her calm presence, her habit of tucking her hair behind her ear when she felt nervous. He sees it all clearly. He finally understands how deeply connected he feels to her, and how much her absence has changed him over these past weeks. A quiet urgency grows inside him, telling him he can't wait any longer. Scene transitions to the next morning. The campus is wrapped in a calm silence, the air crisp with early sunlight. Ryan steps outside with a clear purpose. The uncertainty that once clouded his thoughts has faded, replaced by a determination he didn't know he could muster. He heads toward the campus garden, a place Emily loved, a place where she often went whenever she needed space to think. He hopes she'll be there, even though he knows it isn't guaranteed. Scene shifts to the garden entrance. Ryan pauses for a moment, letting the stillness settle around him. Students pass by in the distance, but here, among the tall hedges and soft pathways, everything feels almost frozen in time. He walks slowly, scanning each corner, each bench, each familiar spot where he has seen her before. His heartbeat rises with each step, driven by hope and fear at the same time. Scene moves to the center of the garden where sunlight filters through the trees, and then he sees her. Emily sits alone on a wooden bench, wearing a cozy fall sweater, her hair softly brushing her shoulders. She looks distant, lost in her own thoughts, unaware that Ryan has finally found her. For a moment, he just stands there, absorbing the quiet scene, the girl he cares for so deeply, sitting just a few steps away, carrying burdens she never wanted him to. See, Ryan gathers the courage to walk closer. His steps are gentle, almost hesitant, afraid of disturbing her fragile peace. When Emily finally notices him, her expression shifts with surprise and something else, something tender, Something tired, something she has been holding inside for far too long. The moment feels heavier than words, like the universe paused just for them. Ryan stopping in front of her, his heart steady for the first time in weeks. He knows this is the moment everything will change. The truth, the fear, the distance, all of it finally coming to light. And in that quiet morning air, he realizes one thing clearly. He is ready to stay, no matter what truth she shares next. Scene shifts as Emily slowly gathers herself. Her posture straightens slightly, as if she's finally ready to face the moment she tried avoiding. Ryan watches her carefully, noticing every small detail. The way she rests her hands together, the way the wind moves her hair, the way her expression mixes vulnerability with courage. It becomes clear to him that whatever she's been carrying, it hasn't been easy. Scene transitions to a deeper emotional space as Emily reveals that she has been dealing with a personal health scare. She didn't want anyone to know, especially Ryan, because she believed it would distract him or make him worry unnecessarily. She tried to distance herself so he wouldn't feel responsible. But the fear became heavier with each passing day, and the silence grew into something she couldn't break alone. Her disappearance wasn't rejection, it was protection, wrapped in uncertainty and fear. Scene moves to Ryan, who feels a powerful shift inside him. The frustration he carried dissolves instantly, replaced with a fierce sense of clarity. He realizes that love isn't about staying only when things are easy. It's about showing up when someone you care for is at their weakest. The pain of the past weeks suddenly makes sense. Every unanswered message, every night of confusion, every moment he felt she was slipping away. It all leads back to this truth. Scene changes as Ryan sits beside her, offering silent support. Emily takes a slow breath, almost relieved to finally let someone in. The garden remains still around them, as if giving them space to rebuild the connection that fear tried to separate. The moment feels raw but hopeful, delicate but strong. For the first time in weeks, Emily's shoulders loosen, and Ryan senses that she no longer feels alone. Scene transitions to later that day as they walk through the campus side by side. The air carries a soft warmth, the kind that signals new beginnings. Ryan listens to Emily share her worries, her appointments, her long nights of overthinking. And in return, he promises himself, not through words, but through presence, that he won't let her face another chapter in isolation. Their steps fall into rhythm, matching each other naturally, as if something broken is finally coming back together. Scene ends as the sun sets behind the college buildings. Ryan and Emily pause on the bridge overlooking the small campus lake. The water reflects the golden sky, turning the world into shades of calm and hope. Emily leans slightly closer, trusting him again, and Ryan feels a quiet, unspoken understanding settle between them. Their story isn't perfect, but it's real, built on fear, distance, clarity, and now, strength. And in that soft fading light, Ryan knows their journey is just beginning.